Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Wandalee. Thank you for joining me today. For those of you who are visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope that this video is helpful to you. And if it is helpful to you, please be sure to give it a thumbs up at the end and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more how-to and DIY videos. So I decided to make this video a while back. It was something that has been on my mind for quite some time, but I wanted to make sure I was prepared. As you can see, I have everything around me. And the reason why I decided to make this video was because as I was decorating my home, and even when I was renting, I would decorate, and it just came so easy to me. I would always have at least one or two friends come and ask how I did it, and they would need help visualizing how to decorate their home. And for those of you who are not naturally visual people, you really don't have to be in order to be your own interior decorator. So a lot of people have the misconception that they're not able to decorate their own home because maybe they're not naturally visual or creative, or they can't visualize things. For someone like me, I can pretty much walk into a space and immediately I can visualize things. Spatially, I can see where things will go. Not everyone is like that, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you can't be your own interior decorator. Of course, I had to dress the part, you know, I had to look like I could be an interior decorator. So that was a lot of fun doing my makeup at like, what time is it right now? Oh, it's not that late. It's like 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. But we're on a quarantine. What else do I have to do? And this is actually something that I love. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be breaking down this video to 3 levels, okay? The first level is for those of you who are not computer savvy and you're more hands-on tactile, or maybe you just prefer to have paper and pen. Then I'm gonna be sharing the level 2, which requires some computer savviness, some knowledge of PowerPoint slides and so on. And then level 3 is for those of you who are computer savvy and you're used to using apps and programs and so on, okay? Let me just have my sip of tea. Had to put it in a fancy glass to go with my outfit. Level 1, this is for beginners, okay? This is for those of you who are not computer savvy and you prefer good old-fashioned pen or paper, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually like doing that myself. So what you're gonna do first, the first thing that you want to do is you want to determine your style or your aesthetic, okay? And you want to gather an inspiration photo. So for level 1, there is minimal use of a computer, but it's very basic. You just have to be able to search for images on Google and then print things out. The easiest way to do that is through Pinterest or through Googling images, because you might not know what your style or your aesthetic is right away. For those of you who do know, it's gonna be easier for you to search those inspiration photos. So what you would do is, and I'm gonna be using my iPad because I don't wanna have to. So for example, let's say you know that your style, your aesthetic is modern glam. You could just go to Google, type modern glam living room, right? Then you would select images, and there you have it. You have a whole bunch of photos now that have modern glam living rooms. And what you would do is you would save those photos and print them out, or you could just save them. You don't have to print them out, but it is helpful, and those would be your inspiration pics, okay? Still having trouble determining your style and your aesthetic, and you really don't find anything that you're drawn to, and plan B would be to focus on a color scheme, okay? So for example, if you are someone who likes the color black and white, and you just like very simple lines, you can just type in black and white. Spelled it wrong, black and white living room. And this is great because when you select images, you're gonna get lots of black and white living rooms, and they're gonna be all different styles and aesthetics. And then that's gonna help you find what your style and your aesthetic is. So once you've determined your style, your aesthetic, or your color scheme, step 2 is measure your space. This is extremely important because as you're shopping around for large pieces of furniture, and that's what you want to start with, you want to make sure that the furniture that you like or that you're interested in purchasing is going to fit in your space. And once you have measured your space, you want to draw a simple blueprint of the space from an aerial view. So if you don't have access to the space, or maybe you haven't found a home yet, but you want to get ahead of the game, that's completely fine. You can still search for furniture online as long as you have an idea of about how large your home is going to be or how large your apartment is going to be. I'll give you an example. So I'm going to share with you guys my little blueprints that I drew. Okay, so for example, I drew the upstairs loft office, and what you would do is you would just draw the space. Now it doesn't have to be this fancy, you would just draw it black and white with a ruler, pencil. You would draw the space as is, and you would write how many feet or inches each wall is, okay? And then of course, this was the second step I went on, and I was able to draw furniture in the places where I wanted them. And I'll give you a closer view. Now that you've measured your space and you have a simple blueprint, you want to start with the main rooms, like the community areas, the area where everyone gathers. So when I was decorating my own home and when I decorated my previous apartments, I always started with the main rooms, such as the living room, kitchen, or the dining room. And the reason for that being is because you want your style to be cohesive. You want it to be fluid and to all kind of come together in the end. And also in our bedrooms, we usually tend to have a slightly different style because it's our own personal space, but it's not necessarily the type of style that we want for the rest of our home. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your paint colors for your walls, okay? Or the wallpaper if you're doing wallpaper. Now you want to start again with the main spaces, living room, dining room, kitchen. I went and I chose all the colors together, and I found that to be easier because I wanted all the colors to kind of flow. You don't want like a really bright color in one room, then it cuts off to white and it cuts off to black. You want it to, again, be cohesive, okay? You definitely want to go ahead and you want to take a trip to Lowe's or to Home Depot and pick up your color swatches. And I'm just going to take off these Post-its here because mine is a little extra detailed. All right, so as you can see, when I was picking out my colors, I wanted to make sure that the colors for the entire house were they all went well together. Not that they match, but they have to go together. So when I picked out this light gray, it's called Platinum. And then this is for the entire home and for my bedroom and the main bathroom. And then this Whisper White is for the 2 guest rooms and for the foyer. And then this blue metal was for my office, just for one of the walls, the accent wall. And this right here, Dark Secret, this is the color of my door on the outside. So I was even thinking of when someone looks at my door, is it gonna match the style and the aesthetic of inside of my home? It's just really helpful to see all the paint colors side by side. It's gonna give you a good idea of if the colors flow and if they go together and if it's going to give your home a cohesive look. All right, and now we're going to get to the fun part. So this is where you're going to start creating your vision board or your collage for your home. So there's several ways that you can do this. You can buy a sketchbook and on each page have the photos and printouts of your inspiration or things that you want to buy for your home, like in a sketchbook like this. This one says ideas on it. Or this is my preference, and it's something that I did with my home. You can buy a nice big foam board, and you can split it up into sections. So for example, this one says living room, and as you can see, I glued pictures of things that I saw online and even things I saw in person that I wanted to buy. And something that's helpful is you want to include the wall color and the name. And I also like to include where I'm going to purchase these things and also the price. All right, so this gives you a great visual so that even if you're just focused on, let's say, the living room to start, you can still work on the kitchen and the dining room, but it gives you a chance to see everything together side by side, and that will help you determine if it's gonna flow or if it's gonna go with the rest of the house, which will allow you to change your mind. Once you have your inspiration photo or your style or your aesthetic, then you can easily just go online and add things into your cart. Each thing that you add into your cart, things that you're thinking of purchasing, you want to make sure you pay attention to the measurements of those things, okay? And as you're adding things to your cart, just save the photos or print the web page and cut them out and glue them onto your vision board. So that's what I did here. I printed this out from Wayfair. That's a coffee table. And This is also from Wayfair, and I printed out the couch that I was interested in getting. Now, it also helps to physically go into stores. Now, obviously I can't go into Wayfair, but you want to leave your options open to save money. So not only are you going to print out pictures from online websites, but you're also going to go into the stores such as Home Goods, TJ Maxx, and other stores that have furniture at a discounted rate. And you can take photos and then you can print those out and also compare prices and glue them onto your vision board. Now, once your vision board is complete and you've filled up each part of the main community rooms in your home with furniture, with the website, and with price, I wouldn't suggest immediately purchasing something that you fall in love with because your style might change along the way, or you might find something a little cheaper at a discount store such as Home Goods or TJ Maxx. As I continued shopping around, I ended up choosing a couch that was similar in shape and color, but a completely different style. So that's why it's helpful to add things to your cart and to compare and to give yourself this visual prior to committing to any large pieces of furniture. Make sure that you're focusing on your style, aesthetic, wall colors, and large pieces of furniture, and saving all the smaller things like the decor for later on, because that will definitely get you sidetracked. So once you have your vision board completely filled up, you have photos for the main spaces such as living room, kitchen, and dining room. Now you're ready to take the next step. So now is when you can commit to purchasing furniture one piece at a time. You can start purchasing the paint and getting to work. And something that was also helpful, and this really depends on how comfortable you are doing this, like I showed you before, you can even, prior to your furniture arriving, you can even, with a pencil, draw in your furniture pieces, and that can help you determine where furniture is going to go because you measured the space. You can kind of shift things around and play with it. And this was my drawing, and this honestly, for the most part, remained the same, except that I got a couch that was slightly smaller. And I'll give you guys a close-up. So for all you Level 1 beginners, that's pretty much it. It's so much more simple than people think. And just one more thing, another thing that will help you. When you have your swatches laid out together, and I taped mine together, you can also get extra swatches and tape them into your vision board next to each room. Something that I found helpful once I saw the space and I saw the amount of wall space that they had, I got Post-its and I wrote how much paint I needed and how much it was going to cost me and the finish. So for this light gray one here, it's the majority of my house. So on the Post-it it says 5 gallons, $198, satin finish, right? And then for the blue metal, which was only an accent wall in my home office, 1 gallon, $44.98 satin finish. So you can pretty much do that for each one. And it just makes it a lot easier to have it on a little booklet like this, because I was able to take this to the store with me and just gave it to her, and she was able to see exactly what I wanted to order. Having a little notebook like this to write notes in is also going to come in handy. You're not going to take this big old vision board to the stores with you, but this is something that's going to keep you inspired, and it's going to give you a visual and an overview of your home as you move along in the process. Level 2. Intermediate interior decorator. This is for those of you who are a little more comfortable using the computer and you're familiar with programs such as PowerPoint or Power Presentation. So instead of making a vision board or a collage or having it in a sketchbook on pen and paper, you would do all your work on a PowerPoint presentation. So the beginning steps are pretty much the same. Gather inspiration photos, but instead of printing them out now and gluing them to a vision board, you're going to be inserting them into a PowerPoint slide presentation. What you do is you would just go onto the websites of the furniture that you're interested in buying, and you would save the photo and then you would insert it into your PowerPoint slide. So again, suggest going to discount stores such as Home Goods and furniture stores and taking photos of furniture that you're interested in buying, and you can easily upload those from your phone directly into a PowerPoint slide. And I'm going to bring you all a little closer so that you can see exactly what I mean. Alright, so I'm going to bring you guys in closer and I'm going to show you how you can insert photos into your PowerPoint slide. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create your slides, and you want to make one slide for each room. You would just title it, for example, living room, okay? And I already have my paint swatch inserted right in here. I have the couch. These are the same exact photos that I showed you for level 1 beginners, but this one's just now on a PowerPoint slide. And I have the coffee table here and the rug. You can always go ahead and just like just like on the vision board, you can type in the type of paint. And this one is in platinum. And it's PPL 26-11. You can go ahead and insert details such as the paint name, and you can also insert the website for each item that you want to purchase and the price. So what you would do is you would go to the website you're looking at, for example, Wayfair. You want to insert everything into your cart. So let's say I inserted this into my cart. You can go ahead, it's really easy, just left click, copy the image, and go right back to that PowerPoint slide. And now left click again and just paste that image right on, and there you have it. Okay, I'm going to make it a little smaller. And kind of just shift it around a little bit. All right, so that's the accent chair that I'm thinking of using, and as you can see, it's easy to see if it goes with the rest of my furniture. Accent chair is far too pretty for it, so I'm glad I didn't get it. The couches I have now actually look like a larger version of that. So that's why it's helpful to give yourself these visuals, and it's very easy. So once I have my accent chair, I can go ahead and insert the website and the price, okay? It is that simple, you guys. Just copy and paste. It is that simple, you guys. Just copy and paste. Now let's say you went to the store and you took a photo of the couch you wanted, and this is the actual couch that I purchased. Let's say you took a photo. Simple. You would just go to your phone, take that photo. I mean, this is what I did anyway. You might have an easier solution. And I just emailed it to myself. So I'm going to go ahead and email it to me. And I'm going to type in couch. Now this is when you're shopping at stores and you want to see things in person. All right, so now it's sending the photo to me, and I can compare the couch I saw in person to the couch that I'm thinking of purchasing online. All right, so now it's sent. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my email. And there it goes right there. And look at that, easy. I'm gonna left click, copy the image, go back to my slide, and I'm gonna paste it now. And you're gonna see that having both photos pasted next to the accent chair, wait, something happened here. There we go. And of course I wanna make it smaller, and you're gonna see how having the photos side by side is going to help you determine which piece to get. So like I said before, this is the couch that I originally wanted. This is the couch I saw in the store. But as you can see, the couch that's in the store just goes a lot better with the accent chair. They have the same legs and they both have studs. So now that I know that, I can simply just delete that couch and I'll place this one as the couch that I'm going to get. Using PowerPoint is a lot easier to switch around and to make decisions. That's the benefit of using PowerPoint as opposed to having an actual vision board. So now that your PowerPoint slides are all completed, you've determined your style and your aesthetic. You have selected your paint colors. It's pretty much the same steps as level 1. Right? You have all your swatches and they are side by side, and now you can insert them into your PowerPoint. You have shopped around and you've compared prices for large pieces of furniture and you've narrowed it down to the pieces of furniture that you want to get. Now you can just go ahead and start purchasing your furniture. So moving on to level 3. This is for those of you who are computer savvy and you are more comfortable with using apps and programs on your phone, your iPad, your laptop, and so on. So the steps are pretty much going to be the same at first. So the steps for level 3 are going to be pretty much the same as level 1 and level 2. And I like to call level 3 expert. You are an expert interior decorator and you don't even know it. So for you level 3ers, you can also create a PowerPoint. However, something that's really helpful for level 3 is if you have access to a program that allows you to layer pictures on top of each other, such as having a photo of a room and then inserting pictures of furniture into that room to see how it's going to look in the space. And it is a program called Pro Knockout. And what this program does, it allows you to actually cut out photos in their exact shape, kind of like having a GIF with a transparent background, and allows you to insert it into another photo. So it also allows you to layer. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And again, this is really helpful if you have access to the space, because you can go in and you can take a photo of each space at different angles, and then you can email it to yourself, upload it, and start inserting pieces of furniture into that space. All right, so here's what I did. I took a photo of the space in my living room where I do not yet have the 2 accent chairs and the small table that I'm thinking of buying. And what I'm now gonna do is I'm gonna use that Pro Knockout app, and I'm gonna search around for some accent chairs, erase the background, and insert them into this photo. I'm gonna layer them to see which chair is gonna look best. So I'm gonna bring you guys closer so that you can see. All right, so I went right into my Wayfair cart because that's where the chair is. I'm gonna click on the actual chair. And let's just say you're deciding between 2 colors. Let's say you're deciding from the beige one and what other colors? And let's say gray. You can easily go, and on an iPad you can add it to your photos. So now it's saved, and now I'm going to click on the gray one. Okay, I want to select the one that has the least amount of background. Actually, let's make it a little, there we go. So now I'm selecting the gray one, holding it down, I'm adding that to my photos. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go to my app, and you may have another app that you prefer. I like to use Pro Knockout, and I'm going to select Cut Out. I'm going to go ahead and I want to cut out all the white space around this chair and erase it in the exact shape of the chair so I can layer it on top of the photo that I took. So I'm going to go ahead and select Next, and now I'm going to go to Erase, Adjust, and Offset needs to be completely on. If not, the little circle is going to be right under your finger, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so these gray and white little squares, that's where it's transparent. You want to make sure that everything around your chair is transparent. So just using your finger, you're going to kind of trace around your chair. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of get the general shape of your chair. And what you're doing is you are erasing the white square that is around your chair until you eventually just have your chair with nothing around it. All right, so I've erased everything around the chair. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. I'm going to save it to my photo album. And I'm going to go ahead now and do the same thing. I'm going to select Cut Out with the gray chair. So I did the beige one already. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the white section around the gray chair. Okay, so now that I have both chairs cut out, here's the part where you get to layer on. It's the fun part after all the hard work, where you get to insert your furniture into your picture. So you're going to select, and this is again Pro Knockout, you're going to select Superimpose. And for the backgrounds, I'm going to select the picture of the room or the space. And then it's going to immediately give you a little box where you double tap, and you can select now the pictures that you've cut out. As you can see, it has no background, right? So now I can easily adjust it And this is about the size of the chair, so I can see how the gray chair would look in the space. And I'm going to put it over here. Let's say I want to compare them. Then I can go to add and select the second chair, which is a beige one. It's a little more at an angle, that's fine. Maybe I'll switch them around. Right? So now I can see how both chairs will look in the space. This is a definitely more higher level way of giving yourself a visual of your space. And you can always move it around. And let's say, oh, I'm gonna go with this chair. Then I can easily just delete that one. And on this one, there's a little plus. Where is it? There's like a little plus piece right here. I think, no. Oh yeah, this one says +1. And there you go. And now you just made 2 of those. However, for level 3, because a lot of your work is in photos, you're still going to want to keep track of the websites and the price. So it would be helpful either to get yourself a little pad like this that you can take to stores with you, or that you can keep information in with the website and the price, or if you're an overachiever like me, you can make a PowerPoint that pretty much mirrors what you have on your iPad or on your laptop, where you're using the Knockout, the HD Knockout, or the program that allows you to manipulate furniture and to move it around. All right, so we are all done with level 1, beginner, level 2, intermediate, and level 3, expert interior decorator skills. But I'm also going to share a few more tips and tricks with once you have purchased your home, or you have decided on which apartment to rent, and you've created either your vision board or your PowerPoint, or you've used a program such as Pro Knockout HD, and you've inserted furniture, and now you know exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to move forward. When I moved into the space, once you're in the space, and there's a lot of things that you have to consider, such as the measurements of your windows and doors. Something that helped me to prepare was I went through each space and I pretty much measured and I pretty much checked out how many windows and how many doors were in each space. And then what you want to do is you want to measure, where is it? And then what you want to do, you want to measure if you're considering replacing doors or buying window coverings. So what I did was I drew how to measure the door, because I wasn't aware, the depth, the width, and the length. And then I just put how many doors. So number 1, dining room entry, length, width, dimensions, length, width, and depth, right? So then you would just mark in the measurement so that when you're ready to purchase a new door, you know you can bring this pad with you. And I did the same thing with the window measurements and with my sliding door measurements when I was going out looking for curtains for them. You would just pretty much put in the length and the width, not so much the depth, and then you would mark it, and you could take this to the store with you, or you can have it with you on your laptop as you're purchasing window coverings or door coverings online. If there is a space in your home that you want to be a little more creative with, you can also include that in a little booklet like this. I know in my space, there was like an empty little space right by my eating kitchen that I wanted to make use of. And because I always wanted to have a type of office or desk in my kitchen, but I didn't have enough space, there was a little wall there, and I decided to create my own little DIY desk. I pretty much just drew in what it was going to look like. I went online. I saw that I needed some wood panel boards from Home Depot and some L brackets. And exactly what I drew here is exactly what I ended up creating. So even just having all the extras inside here, all the designs and ideas that are going to do next, drawings with measurements, prices, and checkoff lists is really going to help you when you are already moved into your home. And the interior decorating, as we know, does not stop here. But not least, if you're going to be doing a lot of DIYs in your home, you can also use the same booklet to list the materials that you need and then the steps that you need to get started. This is what I used when I DIY'd my kitchen. I listed all the materials, and then I also wrote down all the steps that I needed to take, and it really helped because, again, I could throw this in my purse, take this to Home Depot with me, and it has all the information, the measurement, the number of windows, number of doors, the measurement. So this right here is definitely, I would highly suggest getting yourself a cute little notebook. Mine says like a boss and it's just girly. You can get one that fits your personality, and it really comes in handy because it has all the information that you need. You can take it to Home Depot with you, take it to stores as you're shopping, and if you forget, you can go in and look at the measurements that you need for things, and it's pretty much like your interior decorator manual. You are now qualified and certified to be your own interior decorator. Good luck on your journey. Please be sure to like this video if you found it helpful. If you have any questions, maybe there's something that I didn't touch on and you're curious about, please comment below. I always answer people's questions. And if you have your own tips and tricks that maybe I forgot and you want to include, go ahead and comment below. Be sure to like this video if it was helpful to you, and also don't forget to subscribe, as I will be having a lot of DIY videos coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best on your interior decorating journey. That's all for tonight. Stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time.